All right. I think we're live now. Watching it on my other device here to see when it pops up. There we go. All right. Wait for some people to join in on here. And if you're watching this late, if you haven't watched any of my videos yet, my name is Chris. Flies are terrible. They're all over the place around here. Might have to put down the garage door, but my name's Chris. Ducklope Outdoors. We do tons of outdoor content, mainly waterfowl. Gotten into taxidermy. So as you see, the pintail behind me, this side, mounted that, and then the snow goose further back here, mounted that one. I got a widgeon back there for a chase I did up. So I have to, I'll probably bring that out later on so that way y'all can take a look at it. But I am fired up for waterfowl season. I'll tell you what, we're what, 9 weekends away, if you want to break it down like that. So, like, no, it's not even 9 weekends. It'd be about 8 weekends. So we got about 2 months left. And now's the time to start practicing blowing the old duck calls and goose calls, especially the goose calls, that and teal and wood duck, because those are the first seasons that come in. But yeah, if you could go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, that would help me out a ton. And we're trying something new. So I'm out here in the garage. Um, for one, it's hot. Second, I'm not sure how the audio is sounding. Um, so depending on how well this live stream goes, I may move upstairs to the big computer and rig up some sort of backdrop or something like that, because the way it's set up there is almost a room. It's kind of weird to run lives up there, especially running an outdoors channel. But if this live goes pretty good, I'll get that set up there probably this week, and then next Wednesday when I go live again, it'll be all set up there. So hopefully the audio is decent right now. If not, let me know. But for now, I'm gonna have to deal with the flies and running off a laptop here in the garage. But that wind is starting to pick up. I feel that breeze kick in, and it feels good. But as y'all come in, go ahead and hit me up in the comments if you have any questions or anything like that. I'll be sure to answer them. But really, I just wanted to talk ducks tonight. So I got a couple topics I want to cover. I'll wait until a few more people pop in here. The big one I want to talk about is what's going on, M2. The big one I want to talk about is like the blind draws here in Tennessee. And if y'all are having the same issues in the state you're living in, and if you do live in Tennessee and you're watching this, let me know what you think of the way that the draw went this year. So I know we haven't drew yet, but so far as the way that the TWRA set it up, I didn't mind last year's, even though I've never been into like an actual like show up in person. Showed up the season after they changed it. So as for the online portion compared to Maryland and kind of with Virginia too, Virginia's a little bit different than Maryland and Tennessee. Here in Tennessee, I know you might be pissed off at the online draw, but Maryland, that's a different ball there because that's doing nothing but on the phone. M2, where are you at, man? What state? And y'all could probably see the flies flying around here. It's nuts. Okay, Missouri. Yeah, I was thinking about hunting up there in Missouri this coming season, but it's just paying for the non-resident license. It's nuts. I don't think it's that expensive up there in Missouri compared to Tennessee, but I got to factor in the gas because gas is what 4.30 a gallon around here. The price of the license as well. Okay, yeah, 30 miles south of W6 outdoors. Yeah, I did a few lives with him uh, before last season. Him and Vic Neil Bunch and Daddy Duck 360. It was a lot of fun. But he got in good hunts this past season. I saw they tore up I think it was like a ringnecks. So he killed a whole bunch of them. But I wanted to get up there, but the hunting was pretty much too good with like a 15-30 minute drive for me. So I wasn't about to drive 8 to 10 mile or 8 to 10 hours to go hunt somewhere else. Yeah, 469. Yeah, it's nuts. See, I just got back from uh Virginia and North Carolina for vacation, and we were paying it was close to about 470 in Virginia, and then in the Outer Banks in North Carolina I was paying about the 260 mark. So, but here, I mean, I shouldn't say it's not bad because it's terrible, but it's like 430 around. So, and if you're lucky, it's like 425 in some spots. But I wonder how that's going to also affect this coming season as well. Like talking to a few buddies just around the states. Um, some of them planned on coming out here. Some of them plan on just staying local where they are, and um, it's just driving and traveling to other states. I guarantee you, we're going to see a big shift in, especially the YouTube guys like that travel from like Arkansas and that sort of area, Mississippi, Alabama, and them going up to like Kansas to hunt. I guarantee you that's not going to happen this season. So unless if they start another GoFundMe or something like that, and people give them money to go travel, which would be nuts. I might start a GoFundMe at that point. Yeah, I found a spot for the end of the season hunt. The night before that hunt, there was over 1,000 birds on that pond. That's nuts. There was one particular hunt last season where I think I saw. I mean, it was close to like 600 ducks up in the air, and of course, you seeing that many ducks flying around, you'll probably leave with like three. But I don't think I ever saw close to 1,000 on one hunt. Some people blame the amount of birds on the whole region not having water. Um, Last season, I said it wouldn't affect the season. Before it started, I said it's more of like people just looking for videos about it. Um, I mean, comparing like Tennessee, for example, comparing last season to the season before, I really didn't see much of a change. I mean, I killed plenty of birds. I think a lot of it just goes into, people either wanting to complain about stuff or cover up, them not knowing pretty much the basics. They get too in depth with buying $150 duck calls. Got to keep it simple and cheap. which brings me to back to it. So I got tons of videos on how to's, different reviews, different companies that I support that are cheaper than other companies. So um, if you're wanting to check out other content on my channel, if you go to the playlist tab, it's in the right direction. So I pretty much have all of them bunched up at that point. But I'll go ahead and jump into the Tennessee draw this season. So I was, I had it completely set up on making a how to on hunting Tennessee. So far as like someone brand new like myself showing up, not knowing anything about the blind draw and how it works. Um, I had the video pretty much completely done. I just needed to edit because I always say a lot. So before that, before I started editing, I uh, I got a notification from TWRA that they dropped the blind draw for the state. And so I hopped on and I was like, all right, well, I'll do the same thing what I did last year because it worked for me. I drew. I drew up there in Dover. So if you see any of my videos from last season where we're hunting a big cornfield that was flooded, that's up there in Dover. And I drew individually for it. So yes, it was the crappiest blind on the WMA, but still killed birds off of it, especially on the first day. First day was awesome. Um, so I hop on there and I realized that they took the individual draw away, and I'm like, well, what is this? The TWRA post up on their Facebook page, this lady talking, pretty much like explaining how to draw, and in the caption for the video, it explains that um, you have to draw on a party of 4 to 8 people. So I'm like, okay, well, I know maybe 6 to 8 dudes that we could go in together. But you got to think you have a party leader, and the party leader is the person that picks the WMA that they want to draw for, and they go ahead and pick the blinds that they want and put them in order of what they want. So, like, let's say that you're someone who wants to pick a certain WMA, and another person wants to pick something different. Then of course you got conflict there. So then you don't want to join their party. You want to join a different party or make your own. Well, if you go to make your own and you can't make it up to 4 people, then you're kind of because then you can't draw at that point. So that was the big kicker for me. That initially pissed me off. And then the second thing that came with it is the way that they did it. You could only draw from one WMA. So like, let's say I wanted to draw up there in Dover, that was it. You can only pick Dover, and that's it. So yes, kind of I understand because that's the way, going to the in-person thing, it kind of brought that back. So I guess you actually go to the place where, where everyone meets up and draw that way. But I like the way that they did it last season because then I could be like, all right, well, I'll, blind 19, 18, and 17 from Dover, and then I want to go, you know, I don't know. Let's say down there close to Nashville, they got this big lake down there. I want to draw a blind, 1, 2, and 3 from this place, and then I'll even shoot out to Reelfoot, and let's finish up our last picks there, just to see if we could draw there. This season. So I wouldn't say that made me mad, but I don't know. It was kind of irritating because you're allowed to pick up to like I think it's like 46 picks, and some WMAs only have 25 blinds on them that you're allowed to pick from. So why can't I use the rest of my options, even though somebody else can, where they're picking a WMA that has more blinds? Um, I don't know. I may need a local around here to like pretty much drill it in my head and be like, look, like you have no idea what you're talking about. This is the way it's supposed to be. Yada yada yada. Because duck hunting around here is it's different. So it's a different culture. It's a different It's a different speed than what I'm used. So like I'm not from Maryland, I'm from Virginia, but I hunted up there in Maryland, and the way that they do it, which would drive these dudes wild around here. Um, I see y'all talking. I'm gonna wait for it to pop up here on the right. Um, Maryland, you have a phone number for the region that you trying to pick from. You have to call 3 days in advance at the time that I was doing it, 3 days in advance of the day that you wanted to hunt. And you had to call within that certain time. So, like, as soon as their phone line cuts on, which I think it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, you had to be dialing a number and keep dialing over and over and over until the game warden or whoever worked the office answered. And then you told them what blind and what area you wanted to hunt, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, we'll go ahead and secure your name for it." They'll take down your information, and that was it. Or they'll be like, "Nope, that area is taken." You tell them something up, "Nope, that area is taken," so on and so forth. So you'll work down the line until you actually get something, which more than likely it'd probably be your fifth or sixth pick, um, unless if you're super lucky. But like, I mean, it got really annoying, but then again, they have a lot of WMAs where you don't need to draw a blind for, and you could walk in and still kill ducks. So, um, I see M2 talking about the non-resident and 3 permits license, daily tag $14. Well, that's really not that bad. I might have been misreading it when I was looking at the Missouri non-resident stuff. So I might have to go take another look at that, because if it is that cheap, and depending on if I get this new truck, um, which is going to help me out in gas like tremendously, I might end up doing that up there to Maryland or Missouri. But not to keep harping on the Maryland thing, but just to finish that up, their blinds up there are not brushed, anything like what they do out here in Tennessee. They pretty much TW or their game warden system are the ones that actually put the camouflage type stuff on it. It's normally like with these reeds, and that's pretty much it. You're not allowed to add to it. You're not allowed to take away from it. So if you show up to a blind and it ain't got nothing on it, then that's the way it is. You can't mess with it. A lot of the blinds there can only fit like I think 4 people max. Um, and most of the time when you show up, you're not gonna know. Like you can't really scout either. So that I think that's like it was a rule when I was hunting up there, and like you're showing up to a place blind. So it's not like you could walk out there in the water and see if it's like, deep, or even see if it has water there. Um, so that got me a couple times when the water raised up. So I always brought a kayak with me just in case. Um, and then also breaking ice. So like, you show up to a place, let's say you're or trying to draw a place, you're calling 3 days ahead. You know that a storm is moving in and the temperature turns around and drops because the weatherman's wrong. So then you have to go and break ice. And you got this blind that you know absolutely nothing about. So it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of gets kind of sketchy. But then again, hunting the Chesapeake Bay up there in Havre de Grace, body booting or using a kayak and water swatting stuff is wide open, lots of fun. Pisses off most of the locals around there, but I did it and it was fun. Small game for the year is $94. Walk-in boat only. I don't even mess with the draw process. Yeah, yeah, I hear you on that. So I still, so for Tennessee, I ended up joining a group. It's a bunch of military guys like me. Some of them are still in, some of them are out. Uh, we're trying to draw up there in Dover, which is different. So I'm hoping we end up getting one of the decent blinds that are more out towards the middle, because I had blind 25 last season, and um, learning my lesson. I showed up to the place and didn't know that it was burned down because I didn't know how to actually check the blind conditions. I don't even think they had that listed up there before. I had Josh ended up driving up there and said, "Hey, the blinds burned down. Like they burned it." And I was like, "What?" And apparently he knew one of the guys that ended up hunting that blind. I think it was either uh, the past season or a couple seasons before. And I'm not sure if anything was wrong with it. It probably wasn't, but it wasn't up to TWRA standard. So they burned it down. So when I drew and I found out it was burned down, I was like, all right, well, I don't have a pontoon boat. So we don't have a floater. No one I knew had a floater. And the only option I knew of is to build one. So that's what we did. And luckily, around my neighborhood here, um, there was tons of construction going on, so I was able to pick up tons of wood. And I made like 4 or 5 videos on my channel on how I built it. So if you end up drawing Dover blind 25, I hope you enjoy killing wood ducks and watching the blinds out in front of you that are super close to you and you get peppered all the time. Um, Kill tons of ducks. So I'll I don't know. I may do a couple walk-ins because you're able to walk into it, and just hop in it and see what's happening. Because you know how it is. Every season's different, but it's definitely a really good place to kill wood ducks. That's for sure. But the group that I'm trying to draw with, I'm praying that we get a decent blind this season. What's up, Boondocker? Thanks for tuning in, man. But yeah, if we draw, it's gonna be something else. So the main guy that's here per se, they're working on a floater, so it's a pontoon boat, and they're setting up a blind and stuff on it. So I got a John boat now, as you see back behind me. I did a video on pretty much the entire thing from the day I got it all the way until the way it's set up right now. Um, Completely stripped all the Jason over here on the east side. What's up, man? East side, you mean the East Coast? But this boat, I pretty much repainted it, redid all the electrical, um, repositioned some things that were already installed in it. Got a battery charger for the battery. Got a new motor for the mud motor. What else? Getting the drive shaft redone at a machinist. So I'm still waiting for that to come in. That'll be my next follow-up video for the boat build. I built the blind for it. What else? Fix some things on the trailer just to keep it up and going. But the other things I absolutely have to do is put Daring Buddies on it. I haven't done that yet. So I gotta go pick those up eventually before I start pulling it around anywhere. Okay. See, east side of Tennessee. But yeah, once I get that motor and the drive shaft and the mud motor completely all assembled, I'm gonna take this boat out. Probably end up either scouting and fishing, or just scouting. Um, but I'm definitely gonna get it out there on the water before the season starts. Yeah, my wife gave me the go ahead for me to get a boat. Not blind yet. So the way I did this blind, if you haven't watched that video yet, it's like a scissor blind, and I just got the burlap from Walmart. Super cheap. I think I paid like 85 bucks to build it. Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, hit me up when you're coming out here. So hopefully the boat will be completely ready then too. So we could hit up that place, and then if you want to check out other spots too, and we need to use the boat, we can drop it in and use it. Ain't no problem. I'd like to get out there and hunt those sandhill cranes that you were telling me about out there in East Tennessee. That'd be a lot of fun. So I'm waiting for the drop the draw tag. But let's see. What was I talking about? The blind draw system. We'll see what happens. So I was kind of hoping I wanted to draw my or do like my own team, per se, like my own party, and I wanted to try to draw Dover, them, were the two spots. Um, but being that you couldn't split up the two WMAs, I mean that kind of threw out that idea. And Dover, I mean, pretty good. Some days it just depends on where you're at. So what blind? I got a couple honey holes around here. Hopefully the water levels stay decently high, especially this one hole because it keeps a lot of people out of it. And being that now I got three different ways to access it with a boat, because before I was using a kayak, um, and I have a pretty good read on where the birds come from and how that flight path works. So this season I'm gonna do something a little bit different. And as you see right here, all those jugs, so they're pretty much all milk jugs. I've been saving them up since the end of last season. I plan on painting them black, and chasing after the divers. And I know this place that I ran into last season has tons of and I plan on just throwing a crap ton of decoys all around this place. So hopefully we'll have a really good diver video coming out this season too. But I'll be painting those jugs here probably mid to late August. Who else we got in here? I know we got M2, Boondocker. I think I saw old Versatile Hunter in here earlier. He's out of Maryland. He makes a lot of good videos on dog training and that sort of thing. Oh, West Sandy. See, I heard a lot about that the Sandy area and working like the Duck River or whatever. Um, I know absolutely nothing about that area, so I might have to maybe get with somebody that hunts it all the time. I don't know, pick their brain or at least point me in the right direction so I don't get shot. I do plan on making. I want to make at least 4 trips out the real foot this season. So I want to do one in like the earlier season, maybe kill some teal, um, and then not opening weekend, but probably about the second or third weekend of like the when the next split comes in November. That's when I want to go out there multiple times, and then end of the season for the veteran hunt, I'm going to go out there and probably just hop in a blind. So I know they do a lot of veteran hunts around here with like the Fallen Outdoors and then Rally Point Outdoors as well. Um, but I might end up going solo. Yeah, if you get real foot, I mean, it's a long drive from here. It's like 3.5 hours. But yeah, I might hunt that place solo. So because I could see where the birds are going, or even call it and see if if the hunt's even worth the crap, and then I can like I don't know maybe fish or something if the birds aren't doing anything, or drive around maybe kick something up. But I mean they got blinds like I mean pretty much on top of each other down there. So and being that you're able to hop them, I'll hop in any of them. It doesn't really matter to me, especially during a veteran hunt. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Good old sawmill. But So I hunted reelfoot once last season for the veteran hunt. I forget what blind we hunted out of, but I mean, by the time that those birds came in the hole, they were pretty much like in and out within like a couple seconds. Or they would be like on our far left hand side of the blind, and they would be coming like I guess like southbound from the refuge, and they would like hit this wall, and I mean just make a dead stop and then turn and go back the other direction. Um, I mean, being that you got a million freaking people in the blind, yeah, it doesn't at all. So, people with like white faces looking up, never hunted before, they're all moving around, excited that they're seeing something. I guarantee it, pretty much everyone kept their head down except for the caller. They probably would have did it a little bit better, but that's another reason why I want to hunt solo. Is because if the birds flare, I know it was me. It's my fault. I can blame myself. But I got that video posted up on the channel as well. But I see a lot of scared to go out there just because they don't know the area or they don't want to do something different. But uh, I don't know. I'm all about doing different stuff. So the other thing that I plan on doing too is, um, yeah, if you kill a red-breasted McGanser, I definitely want to mount one. So they're some guys pay big money to go out to Maryland to kill one. I forget what I was saying. I always get off track. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So, yeah, the V boards. So in Maryland, they're uh, they're pretty big on using V boards just because it's three decoys. They're silhouettes, and it doesn't take up that much space. And the way you make it, um, which I have a how-to video on how to make them. I can pretty much pile up everything I got in a boat to include all my other floater decoys and all jugs, and it will give me something completely different because I'll have the actual decoy, the normal floater for like mallards. I have the jug set up. They'll be thrown out to like pretty much as like my filler decoys, and then I'll have the V boards set up, and I'll push those even further out to pretty like a J hook or something else, or just sprinkle them throughout my. So it should make it look a lot different than what people typically do out here. And that's another big thing about Tennessee too. If you haven't hunted Tennessee blinds and like WMAs and that sort of thing, the people who draw the blind, pretty much like the whole party, like leaves all their decoys out in front of the blind like the entire season. It's wild. So like one of the blinds down there in Dover, they had out like 50 to 75 snow goose like silhouettes out in the field, and then they had probably ever been a 200 to 300 decoys in front of the blind. And for a small guy like myself who doesn't have a lot of money, especially to spend on um, massive spreads like that, it's really hard to compete with. Being a bigger spread. So when ducks come through, they're going to see that versus someone like me who has, whatever I towed in, which is like maybe 3 dozen at the most. And versus now I got the boat, I'll be able to take a lot more. But 3 dozen, they see that and then they look over and they see, 200 to 300. Of course, they're going to go to the bigger spread. So unless if they're really dumbed up. And my kill this season too is a speckle belly. I did. Vacation was a lot of fun. Um, we went out to Virginia, So I grew up about 45 minutes to an hour south of DC. So I spent 4 or 5 days up there with my in-laws, and then I went down to my parents' house, live in like Newport News area um, in Virginia. We were down there for close to probably about 5 or 6 days, and went fishing with my dad. And then what else? What did we do? Went to the water park to celebrate my son's birthday. We did actually two water parks. So one up in Northern Virginia, we went to Fairfax for that, and the one in Southern Virginia, we went to the Busch Garden ones. Um, so that was a lot of fun. And then we left from there and went to the Outer Banks in North Carolina. So we had a house that we rented out for the week. I think it was in Kill Devil Hills, and then we went and explored pretty much the entire area. Which me and my wife, we've been going there for years. So since we were pretty much kids, um, so we know most. We just wanted to see like how grown up it's got. So any changes. So we went over into Manio. We drove to like Oregon Inlet, so to see any like boats coming in and out. Um, and then my buddy Anthony, who I served at Fort Bliss with out in El Paso, Texas. Um, he was actually there. His mom owns a house up in Corolla, so we went up there the last day that we were there to pretty much hang out with him and his girlfriend and his son. His son's the same age as mine, so that made a long. Then we made the long drive back to Tennessee. So coming back was kind of bittersweet. So I liked it out there in North Carolina. I like the area. Definitely, I love the beach. Don't really care for the water so much, but I enjoy sitting there on the beach. Yeah, the Outer Banks. So that hunting down there, it, I say people around Tennessee are wild. Down there, it gets a little bit feisty too. So just because everybody and their brother um, is out there working the water. So you got crabbers, you got dudes fishing, you got dudes duck hunting. Um, the blind draw. I'm not even sure if it's a draw, but that's completely different. Um, and all to kill some buffleheads and some redheads and that sort of thing. They get they get pretty into it. So it's kind of like their way of life because they have guys, come down either on vacation or whatever, and go hunting with them. So that's another form of income for them. So it gets pretty wild. But this call company, um, not that I work with, but we pretty much push business back and forth to each other. So, because I make a lot of call lanyards and duck totes, and she makes duck calls. So she actually uses a lathe and carves them all up and everything. So, Contentia Creek waterfowl. Got a couple videos of hers on my channel of reviews, and that's um, she hunts out, or they live out there in North the Outer Banks, but I'd say kind of close to it. And that's where she pointed me to when I asked her. I was like, if I were to come out there in North Carolina, like, what is like the mecca spot to like go hunt? And she told me like pretty much close to the coast, if not on the coast. Yeah, I'm ready for honkers too. So that's what I was thinking about today. So I was for I don't know, probably about 2.5 hours, and I was looking at the different river systems because obviously hunting the Cumberland River is like dumb, just because there's really nothing on the Cumberland River to hunt. And the way it's worked with the ships going back and forth, it would be stupid to set up a spread just because the wake that they push, and I've never really seen birds work it. But I looked at all the other outskirts rivers or the outskirt rivers that come off of it, and look for islands, look for other boat ramps. So I pretty much marked off everything like in different radiuses. So depending on how long I have to hunt and how early I want to wake up. So I got a decent amount of spots on X that I need to actually go put eyes on. Um, but I do have one particular spot I might end up doing opening day on, just because every time I go to this place, I jump up at least 30 to 40 um, throughout the summer, just driving around. And I might not even need really any decoys, if only throw like maybe 4 or 5 and just sit there and wait, just because like they're always at this place. So whether they're roosting there, I don't know. But let's say they're not roosting there that night and they're coming in there that morning to feed, it's going to be a banger, sure. It'd be a straight up solo hunt. So because I'll get camouflage as a mofo. But I want to kill a whole bunch of geese to grind up. I want to do a whole bunch of burger with them. So I'm probably gonna do like maybe 2 pound packages and buy a whole slab of bacon, cut it in half, and then one half 2 pounds, and then the other half would be for the other 2 pounds. And I want to grind it all up and make it into. So that's one of my ideas for this season. So that way I can do some cooking videos after the season once it goes out. I also want to kill some teal too, so that's another thing I'm gonna be chasing after. I know that when the wood duck season comes in, it is extremely easy to kill 2 wood ducks, and you could be home by 8 o'clock. But I really want to find a decent teal hole that I can hunt throughout that September teal season. I might end up making that trip out the real foot for that. Yeah, if you're seeing 200 plus, you're almost best not even throwing decoys. Maybe just have a couple just to get them like in your area. Um, but I wouldn't throw out like a massive spread, or especially early season. I mean, if anything, you throw like 2 or 3 in one group, 2 or 3 in another group, and then just like sit almost not directly in the middle, like having them on your left and right, but having them out in front of you and sitting like maybe 20, 30 yards back from where they typically come from, if you know where they come from. But okay, so you do it like that. See, I hear a lot of people, some of them do it up in burger, um, but a lot of people, like Justin, for example, out in Virginia, he got me on turning the the geese into pretty much like pulled pork. So what he'll do is take that goose breast and he'll put it into the crock pot and he'll use beef broth and pretty much leave it on low or high or something like that. And let it like cook all day. Um, and then at the end of the day, pretty much it shreds apart. So and you dump a whole bunch of barbecue sauce all over it. It's pretty good. But I definitely want to try the burger part. And then even still, like my wife will not eat pretty much any duck or goose that I bring home. I feel like if I turn around and use that burger and then mix it in with like hamburger helper, you wouldn't even notice the difference because it covers up the taste so much. And having like bacon mixed in with your meat, like what red-blooded American would not like that? See, I've yet to see um the crane quota thing come up on TWRE's app. I've been looking for it. Hopefully, it didn't already pop and go away that fast. But once they do pop up, I'm definitely putting in for it. That's for sure. Because I'd like to at least not even kill it. I think it'd be really cool to videotape it. Somebody killing one and then just at least trying it, just like a bite, and just to say I did. Because I'm gonna be completely honest here. Like I didn't find out anything about cranes until Meat Eater did his video on killing cranes, and they called it the ribeye of the sky. And then that's when it started on YouTube a lot for me. I don't even think I like searched it. It's kind of weird. Like I watched the video, hopped on YouTube, and videos started popping up about sandhill cranes. So, um, and that wasn't even that long ago, was it? Maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when Meat Eater did his video on that. So I feel like now it's like gotten like super popular, especially with all the Instagrammers and Facebook guys taking all the videos and stuff. Late July and August. Okay. All right. If that's what you're talking about when the draw like pops up in the app, then I'll definitely be looking out for it. So I'll make a special trip out there. Won't leave until I kill one. That's for sure. Hell, I might even just cut the breast out of it. Prep that for the freezer and throw it in the freezer so that way it's nice and cold for me bringing it home and cut it out. I'll pretty much act like I'm taxidermying. Is that even a word? Act like I'm gonna taxidermy the crane, and I'll bring the crane home and actually finish up the taxidermy on it. Because I think that'd be cool. They're like a pterodactyl, man. It would take up like this entire wall. It'd be nuts. Yeah, with horseradish. Boondocker, I do appreciate you logging in here, being my active commenter. It's giving me more to talk about tonight. Anything else? So next week, what I'll do for next Wednesday, um, if you're able to, what I'll do is I'll text you and we can set up. I would like to keep the same time, so that way I'm doing this like repetitive every single week at the same time until the season starts. That's my goal. And next week, if you want to hop on here and we could do like a split screen, I can get you the code. You can go on to. I'll set you all up with it, so you can hit it and be in the chat with me, so we can talk back and forth. Awesome, I appreciate it, man. And these flies are getting terrible. Sun's starting to go down, so it's not so hot out here now. But the other thing I wanted to cover tonight, so I posted up, kind of stuck my neck out there um, with Middle Tennessee duck hunting Facebook group. So they're they even made a separate group with pretty much like going after like the blind draw stuff. I was hoping more guys would have hopped on here and like been in the chat to like talk back and forth and I guess bitch and complain about it. But hopefully they end up watching this video all the way through, which they probably won't. Um, I want to get this to a point where we could almost use this as like an open forum to where we're not just like bitching the entire time, but we can like talk about things and express our like ideas of things that we would change and then possibly coming up with a resolution for it because TWRA did come up with an idea, which that's why I was hoping a lot of them would have logged on tonight. TWRA came up with this thing where they're still going to do the blind draw online thing, but they're still going to have a meeting with like people at the place that they planned on having the draw at. And if they would have logged on tonight, this would have been a perfect time to where like everyone could have pretty much like, no, I'm not going because I'm not going to give in to their changes, or been like, all right, well, I will, so that way I can actually go and like I guess meet my buddies and hang out with my friends. So, but I do plan on going. Hopefully, I hear more about like the actual like pinpoint location and the pinpoint time, so that way I can see who some of these people are and put a face with a name. So I think it's gonna be different for sure. So something I'm not used to. Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I've been blowing it up here recently with posting up on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm trying to drive up the watch time because I'm very close to getting. I got enough videos, I got enough subscribers, all that sort of thing. But it's mainly the watch time that kills me because like during the season, I mean what within like a 3 month time span, I'm getting close to like 2,500 to 3,000 hours of watch time. And as soon as the season goes out, I mean it drops, it plummets. Um, so I'm trying to get it to the point where I get monetized and I don't have to worry about the summertime. I can just content during hunting season and all the I guess money. I wouldn't even make that much money off this channel, but all of it I'm pretty much put back into duck hunting or the conservation of like back into like delta waterfowl. So I'm not big on ducks unlimited, but definitely ducks delta waterfowl. I'll like do the subscription and donate money and all that sort of stuff. So, and then also I'll probably take a portion and get back to like the kids, not my kids, but like an Instagram thing where I'll buy like, if you got a kid that's 15 years old starting to duck hunt, buying like their duck stamp for them. So that way it's like 25 bucks, They're not through these kids. That's way, it's just less money that they have to spend. But gotta get my watch time up for that. It's kind of like what this other big, I mean, he's a big YouTuber. Probably makes a decent amount of money off this. But that's what he does. But that's my goal. I think it'd be pretty cool at the end of the day. Take care of the kids, get back to conservation. So, man, these flies are killing me. Yeah, I'll give this live stream another like 5 minutes or so, and then we'll go ahead and hop off here. Actually, six minutes. I want to do like a perfect hour. If we have more viewers next week, I'll go longer. But if not, I'll just keep it in an hour, and then we'll just roll with that. The got to hop in there and help my wife to bed and all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm running out of drink too, so Mm-mm. But yeah, I'll hit you up, Boondocker. I'll hit you up later on this week or this weekend, and if you do want to come on and do the live stream with me next Wednesday, I'll set you up with how to do it. It's really not that hard. So it's you pretty much get on StreamYard.com. I'll give you the code, and you can either copy paste it, mail it to you, and you can copy paste it that way. And then the best way to run it's on a computer. You can still do it from your phone, but you copy paste that URL into the StreamYard. It like asks you for it, um, and then I'll pull you into the chat and then bring you up on the screen. And then whenever you're done, you just say, "Hey, man, I'm out." So then you can leave the studio and go from there. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I got like a big camera, tripod, GoPro. I used to have I wanted to go with the shot cam, but of course I'm a baller on a budget, so I went with the Tacticam. Worst decision of my life. Tacticam is the most piece of shit there is out there, like product wise for camera. Um, Super delayed, resolution is terrible. The sound quality is terrible, which I'm not trying to record like ducks talking or anything like that, but low light, I mean, were the worst. Um, I had to like brighten it up a crap ton with the software I have. Um, and then the big thing is I took it out in the rain once and it didn't even get wet. I kept it covered. It still got moisture behind the lens. So I contact Tacticam and I was like, "Hey, like how do I fix this?" And they're like, "Oh, just take off the battery, put it in a bag of rice, and give it a couple days, and the moisture will come out of it." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. That's that's not how this works. Like um, we don't just throw stuff into a rice bag and wait a couple days. Like I'm hunting pretty much the next 4 days every single day. Like I'm not gonna leave something I bought for $300, $200, like back at home when it's completely waterproof. There's no point for moisture to get behind the lens. And also, I had a guided hunt that I paid for, and we're not even going to go down that road because that was a disaster. Um, which next week I'll probably talk about guided hunts. But um, I had a guided hunt that I paid for. I had Justin Higgins coming out. Higgins ended up not coming, so it was Justin and his family. And I went out there. I tried to use the camera, of course, with the moisture behind the lens. Everything's all foggy and everything. I was completely pissed off. So I bought a camera through Guidefitter, which is like a third party system. It's for like all the discounted rates for like military and all the other people that can get discounts through them. And so trying to talk to Guidefitter and trying to talk to Tacticam were like, I mean, it was terrible. Ended up coming to the point where I had to contact Tacticam through Facebook Messenger to be able to get the actual phone number to customer service, who I sat on like hold for like an hour talking to multiple people to get them to understand the email that they got through Guidefitter for like me to refund this thing when it, it was a big deal. So I went back and forth. I mean, it took me like a week just to be able to get it out the door, sent back to them to be able to get a refund. Because they're like, "Oh, well, you can just send it back to us. It'll only take about 2 months for us to get it back to you. Um, and we'll get you a brand new one." And I'm like, "Can you just send me a brand new one and I'll just like put my old one in a box and send it back?" And they're like, "No, we don't do that." So I guess they didn't trust me enough. But I would have had to wait pretty much the whole season to be able to get back the new camera and then wait for this season to come up to be able to use it. So I was beyond livid. So I was like, no, I'm sending this crap back. I'm sending you everything to include like all the original boxing, all the way down to like the trash that came in it, um, back to you, and I want all my money back. So I ended up back. Well, I started I forget when the Purple Haze, but anyway, I think it was like December time frame, like early December, and it happened like towards the end of November of when I had the issue with it. I didn't send the camera back until like mid January, and I didn't get the full refund until like the end of February. So that's how like terrible the whole thing happened. Yeah, test run. That's too easy. Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And if y'all don't know why I'm saying awesome too, just you'll see. But yeah, that Tacticam. No, I might even make a video on YouTube, and I'm gonna plaster it everywhere. Worst gun camera anyone could buy. So I don't even care if like you make minimum wage, you're working at McDonald's, and you have nothing else that you could buy. I would say, I mean, you're better off going buying like a Polaroid camera from like Craigslist than buying that crap. So it's terrible. Now the shot cam, I've heard good and bad stories about it. Um, Bad being like the battery life, having the camera cut on, you're thinking that it's on, but it's really off. A lot of people like tap their gun and that sort of thing. That's why you see like the big YouTubers like hitting their gun before they draw because they're trying to cut on that camera before they pull up. Um, what's some other stuff? The crosshair being off, or you have it like you can't move the crosshair anymore in a system. So you're really shooting like where you should be shooting at, but the crosshair is like it won't move where they need it to for it to be fixed. But as for the quality, I mean, y'all have seen the videos of shot cam. So if you haven't, it's pretty much everywhere, all over YouTube. There's another reason why like Bobby Guy was starting to get taken down off YouTube, which I kind of wish happened. This is the way he hunts is trash. A lot of it's clickbait too. This is really annoying. But I'll end it with bashing another YouTuber, which I just did. So, um, Boondocker, I'll hit you up this weekend. I'll text you. Um, if you're looking at a shot cam, wait for them doing a sale because they do have a sale pop up probably about 2 times a year, and you can save like 150 bucks on it. So you just gotta wait for it. So I would say go to like their website and sign up for the email thing, or on their Facebook, like getting added to their main page, and it'll pop up that way too. So I know they did one around Father's Day, um, and then I forget when the other one was. I think it's Labor Day or something like that. It's towards like the beginning of the summer and the end of the summer where we're about to go in season. It's when they do it, and they give you like 150 bucks off. Nope, I haven't been doing much shooting. Um, I did just put in an order for some shotgun shells through. I won't say the company. If you want to know, hit me up on Instagram. I know where shotgun shells are being sold right now. And if you need to know, you can just text me and ask. I'll let you know. but they have a whole bunch. I just put in an order, wait for that to come in. I'm gonna do a pattern testing with two different chokes. It's gonna be a factory choke versus a kicks choke, so that way we can see the difference, and then also I can see like how they're shooting. Yeah, that's wild. I don't see how you win a hunt, but you have to turn around and pay to get. All right, so you got me on my Bobby Guy soapbox now. So after seeing that, like I do have to address that. So this dude, right, where his original videos are very catchy, informative, um, non-clickbaitish, uh, actually cared about like teaching, being like for the hunter, that sort of thing. And now he's gotten to the point where it's all clickbait because he makes a shit ton of money off YouTube. And how he hunts is like completely ridiculous. So the whole like sky busting, the whole spray and pray thing, um, just like how he acts, all of them screaming in the blind, which I don't mind people getting excited. You kill whole birds, and yeah, you should be excited. But like, I mean, they're literally to the point they're like screaming after every bird that they kill. Um, I mean, they gotten to the point where they push products. He's a co-owner with the Ducks company, which the main person that owns it is Flair. So, like their whole seasoning brand, they're pretty much taking another person's seasoning or something that everybody and their brother makes already, slaps their name on it, puts it up, and then people are buying it just because it has ducks like on the product. Like I don't understand it. Like I understand supporting a brand. Like for example, I'm sitting here drinking out of a Pit Boss waterfowl uh, cup. So like supporting a brand, like I understand it to a point, but to another point where you're wearing a hat, you're wearing a sweatshirt, you know all you do is preach Bobby Guy stuff, and it's gotten to a point where it's almost like a cult, or it's gotten into a point where it's I don't know how to explain it. It's a fad. That's probably the best thing, because I give it to a point where he's got his business now, which he's probably made off the actual Ducks brand, and he's made off the Ducks brand, and he's made off YouTube, and his wife is pretty much the moneymaker because she's the nurse and everything. I'm not downing the guy, like Bobby himself, because he's probably a decent dude. I'm downing like the culture and idea that they're putting behind it, because it's like his dog, for example. His dog is having like health issues. Still takes him out hunting, but made this massive video like a crying, like I'm never gonna be able to hunt him again. But then, 2, 3 months down the road, he's around and like having his dog run and pick up ducks all the time. It's like, okay, so now you're doing clickbait. Um, yeah, $90 for a hoodie, $110 for a duck call, which it's probably, I mean, and like an echo call with like ducks scribed into it with a different barrel. So, um, but the big thing with like the dog ruined it for me. Also shooting pretty much in a dog that was like that broke, and then he made like this massive video on like apology video, but he turned around and said in the video that he wasn't apologizing. Like you can see in your shot cam, the dog was literally, when you pulled up and the dog's in the screen, I'm sorry, the dog's in the way. You should not have taken a shot. Like, how you're gonna like twist that around and be like, oh well, I pulled up, I was shooting in a different direction. The way the camera angle is, it's different. Like, it's all bullshit. Trust me, I film every single hunt I pretty much go on. And no, that's ridiculous. Um, they even had some customers like leave on a hunt and not pay, um, which it was probably fake as well. Draw like get people blowing up the comments to like get his videos to pop on YouTube. Um, I mean, if it is true and it did actually happen, then he could have just said, I contacted law enforcement. Obviously, they probably signed some paperwork because he charges people out the ass to be able to hunt with them. Um, you know, it could have went a different route than the way he took because really he just made a video bitching and crying about how much money he spent and how terrible the hunt was, but yet he tried to provide a different, experience for him by, buying him like this lobster and all that other crap. It's just a cop out. I think it was just to drive his views up and get people looking at him. There's tons of other YouTubers that do it as well. So um, I won't name the other ones because they'll turn around and I know they do probably watch this channel, but clickbait, stop doing it. Stupid. Be completely real with your viewers. If you suck that hunt, say you sucked, or just don't post the shit up at all. It's really annoying. Like I'll be nothing, but I'll post up a video. I won't kill anything, and I'll be like, "Look, man, today sucked. I sucked. I flared all the birds. My calling was terrible. I won't post up the video at all, and I won't have a video posted for 2, 3 weeks. And I'll be hunting literally, almost every other day. Like I'm not gonna waste people's time and try to push a product. Old stalls. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. I was actually about to get off probably about 13 minutes ago, but I got on my trip talking about other YouTubers and it got me fired up. And I've had a few White Claws, so if you can't tell already, I'm starting to slur my words. But I yeah, the clickbait stuff I'm completely against. Say it's like packed or something like that, then something happened in the video. I'm trying to get people to actually watch it. Um, or we killed like a lot more than what was expected. Now, do I have banger hunts all the time, every single hunt? Hell no. There's sometimes I'll only go out and only kill one duck, but I killed one duck. That's better than none. I'm happy with it. If it's decent footage, I'll post it. If it's shit footage and it's like a dark screen, you can't see the ducks coming in, and you just see a whole bunch of shooting, and then it ends, and it's being like, "Hey, I killed fucking 4 ducks." Like, okay, like, I'm not gonna post that because it's stupid. People can't see what you're shooting. It's a waste of their time. I'm just gonna keep it real with them. So that's probably why, a lot of my videos. I mean, some people watch them, some people don't. There's ones that have a crap ton of views. There's other ones that don't have many, and it should because it's actually like decent. It's your fault. It's decent. Decent footage, but um, I don't know. It's something for me to go back and watch. If other people don't see it, then that's fine. Maybe a couple of years down the road, maybe they will see it. You know, it's like if you scroll all the way back to the very beginning of this channel and you see like the Susquehanna Flat video. I think it's like the first duck hunting video I posted up. Um, Terrible video. Should I have ever posted it? Hell to the no. But I didn't know anything about YouTube. But am I gonna take it down? Nope. Because you can see like how I've progressed throughout the channel and got going from like a shit content creator to like I say mediocre at best. I like seeing the growth. So the same way with like the deer hunting, I got away from that just because for one I'm not hunting back in Virginia and I have this dynamite place to go deer hunt. Um, I think that's probably the only place I'll ever videotape deer hunting, unless if I find a place around here or I happen to like get a really good hunt in, but it won't be like constant, like every season, like doing deer hunting videos. But back there, I can guarantee, like stalls, for example, if you're still in here, ask Justin about the place we used to hunt all the time for deer. And he'll tell you hands down, there's no other place in America you could go and kill that many deer ever in a season. I think me and my dad, we killed close to like almost 50 deer in one season at that place, buying like tons of bonus tags over and over and over. So we just like straight slaughtering them out there. Um, the deer trails out there were, I mean, maybe 3, 4 feet wide and like almost dug in like a trench because of like how often they came through that place. Yeah, like talk him into going up there and asking her for permission and name drop me. And if you need to call me on the phone when y'all do it and have me talk to her on the phone, I will. Because I know she, or even FaceTime. She knows my face and knows my voice. So the boat almost done. Just waiting on the motor. But yeah, that place I'd had a deer hunt. I mean, my dad killed for Virginia 8 pointer. Like says a lot. He probably killed maybe 38 pointers off that place. I know in one season he killed like 5. Um, and does, it wasn't nothing to go out there and kill a doe. I mean, you could probably go out there and kill a deer with a spear. That's how good that place was. And you're not allowed to use corn, like bait. I know some states you're allowed to bait. Um, really, I mean, we were just hanging from a tree stand. Me and Justin even killed him on the ground without a blind. We killed him on the ground walking around. So we'll just like stop, and next thing you know, like here they come trotting through, and it'd be like almost 10 of them. So you pretty much got your pick. If you want a wall hanger for deer in Virginia, good luck. So I think Dad's got like 3 mounted. 2 of them are 8 pointers. One of them's a 12, and that 12 we won't talk about. Uh, and then as for turkey hunting around here, shit ton of turkeys. This past season, I didn't get any footage. Well, I got footage of, but every time I would get one talking and working, and you could hear like not hear him running through the woods, but you can notice like he'd turn around and gobble. He'd be like, I don't know, maybe 100 yards off to your like your left, and then turn around and hit the slate call, um, or the mouth call. I was doing both. He'd turn around and you could hear him at like your 12 o'clock. Then he'd turn around and be on your right, and then he'd turn around and be even closer and like coming into you. And next thing you know, like a gunshot would go off, and it'd be like a quarter mile away, and then nothing. And I would sit there the rest of the day, like waiting, calling every once in a while, like maybe getting him like interested again. Nothing. Every single hunt I went on here in Tennessee, it happened to me. And I went, I think, 9 times this past season. And all 9 times there was always a shot, and it shut him up every single time. So I just got to figure out the place and get back to like an area that I guess no one's going to be at or whatever. Get the camera down a little bit. Seeing nothing but my chin getting cut off here. Yeah, you just gotta. I just crank it out as fast as I can. So I'll be like, all right, this one day I'm gonna knock out this entire project. So if you can get some time off from driving, that's what I would do. Yeah. So the laws here for turkey season for next season. Uh, a lot of people are probably gonna be mad about that, but coming from Virginia, it didn't affect me at all because if I kill one, I'm completely happy with that. Call it a day. Um, but I can see how the change would irritate a lot of others, especially the native Tennesseans. But yeah, I'd say the big thing with the blind draw change for this season compared to last one, with the only one WMA. and having to have a party of 4 to be able to draw. I think that's what irritated me the most out of all the changes that they made. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I can't wait for the season to hurry up and get here. I pretty much got everything ready except for the motor for the boat, and as soon as that's ready, then we'll uh we'll run with it. So I'll go do all the testing and all that good stuff. But Stalls, if you're still in here, man, next week, I'm probably gonna have Boondocker on here if he can't make it, or he can only do a certain amount of time, or I might split it in half. I'm gonna try to get you and Justin in here, or you or Justin, whatever works, um, or have it like a rotation. So I might just have like one person per week, but every Wednesday at what is it, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so it'd be 7 o'clock for me. Um, I'll uh, I'll be running a live video. Yeah, like the whole Jake thing gets me. Okay, perfect. Um, the whole Jake thing gets me just because I don't know. Like if I saw Jake roll up on like this past season, it just rolled through, I would have smacked him. I don't care. He has a beard, is what it is. But this next season is gonna be different. So if anything, I'll get out there, like I said, kill one, call it a season. I'll be happy with that. So but yeah, once September gets here, it's gonna be game on. I'll be going out there at least 3 to 4 times a week. So it's my goal, if not more. So hunting in the mornings, doing like an hour or two here and there. All right, man. Yeah, I'm about to get off your stalls anyway, so I'll talk to you later. But all right, Boondocker. I appreciate you being super active in the chat for me. It's giving me something to talk about. Only had a few discussion points, so I'm glad you chimed in. But next week, well, this weekend I'll hit you up. Next week I'll be live Wednesday exactly at the same time, so it'd be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll follow it every single Wednesday, and until season starts. And I may still end up doing it live during the season. We'll see what happens, uh, depending on how busy it is. But I don't have much going on around here. But I appreciate you tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and log off here. I'm gonna go help out the wife. But as I end all my videos, y'all stay safe out there. Wear your seatbelt if you're driving in a car. Wear your life jacket if you're riding in a boat. Y'all have fun. I've been Chris. It's been Duckle Up Outdoors. Peace. Also, bust them up.